Hello, and welcome to a Night of the Batman special. In this, I will be doing a commentary, usually pretty short, on the Further Evidence episodes by the Joker blogs. Right here, we're introduced to a scene we had previously seen in the series, where the Joker goes into the office, and then it transitions from that old footage from that episode into the new footage. You can really see the quality change in it. The money that they spent to make it look as professional as it does really shows with every frame. And we sort of see, in the episode, we don't really see this part. It's kind of setting up what we see at the very end, that Joker and Luthor are kind of working with each other. And this kind of sets it up. Again, you can really see, just like through the different things, like how much money has gone into this. I like how it mentions Quincy Sharp in there, and also other people, that it's more of an Easter egg. A lot of the stuff in here is just Easter eggs for big fans of the series, and not exactly for people that they're just more casual fans. This sets up what we know at the end to be like Luthor Corp is trying to buy out Arkham because they're having financial troubles. It's interesting, I just noticed this, it's really interesting to see Joker in a sort of doctor's uniform. You don't generally see that, and it's just kind of funny. It makes him seem like he's the head of staff or something, which makes sense. Because really, the crazy people rule the asylum more than the actual staff do. And I like that throwaway line right there, "Who died and made you Clock King?" For fans, that's obviously the villain Clock King. There's a lot of stuff like that in here.
Lack of sex drive? No.
The guy that plays the Joker in this, he really sells his performance in this. He's sort of made it his own thing, and he's very much melded himself into the role.
Gift? What gift? Could you hand me that bow?
Initially, when the series started, he was sort of feeling his way around, but by this time you can definitely see that he knows the character very well, and he's almost become the character in a way. Now, this was a gag that was set up in the other one. He couldn't do anything because he was dead, and I find it really cool that we actually get to see the guy in this one. I like how they include an Easter egg about Lex Luthor running for president, as in that was something that happened in the comics a few years back. Also, they mentioned Vernon Fields in this. I actually had to look that one up because I'm not really familiar. He was actually in The Long Halloween. He was the assistant to Harvey Dent, and he actually helped Falcone. Actually, it was actually, it was Falcone. So, I'm not really sure if that storyline will in any way play into this, but it's certainly just like a good thing to mention. In the comics, Vernon is kind of like a wimp that kind of gets pushed around into doing things that he really doesn't want to do. I like how this sort of sets up maybe what's going on to the next series, just sort of a refresher also for people who are just starting to watch this. Alright guys, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this. Hello and welcome to part 2 of the commentary. I'm going to be releasing 2 of the Further Evidence videos with my own commentary on them as soon as I can.
Been on hold for about 32 minutes.
So we're reintroduced to the character of Jeremiah Arkham. He's very different than he was in the last series. This is much more dramatic take on him.
Yes.
Visiting hours are ending.
In the previous series, he was much more sarcastic and a little bit more lighthearted, but in this one, after he lost his wife because of the Joker and what he did to his family, you very much get to see this sort of insane dark side to him. He, the Arkhams in the comics, the Arkham family, have a history of being, for lack of a better word, crazy. And if you don't know, Jeremiah Arkham in the comics right now is actually the new Black Mask. He's crazy in there too. In the Grant Morrison book, A Serious House on Serious Earth, they've mentioned different sort of possibilities why they went crazy. They mentioned, sort of like he's mentioning now, basically what kind of made him snap was a very early incident when he was younger with his uncle getting killed by one of the inmates there, and how he used to live there with his uncle. We haven't really seen this side to him. It's very sort of disturbing. I like how they impose the sort of happy music with the very unsettling sort of beat of the little heart monitor thing that goes out through the video. I think that's very effective. It kind of keeps you on edge a little bit, and certainly this guy's acting ability certainly does that too. He's doing something very different. I'm not saying he was a worse actor in the last one, but he's very good at doing dramatic, sort of unsettling kind of characters. This is sort of, it sort of plays against your expectations with this video. You think it's just going to be him talking about basically his wife and how she's in the hospital, but it's sort of, he delves into this other side of him and how he sort of went crazy after that event in Arkham Asylum, and the guy killed himself in front of him. I could make the argument that in the previous series he was sort of guarding himself against Joker and the other inmates so that they didn't try and mess with him and basically show no emotion and be very sarcastic and everything. And this is just sort of him unhinged. This tragedy has sort of pushed him farther, and as he says, more into the darkness than he was before. Again, the Arkhams, going all the way back to Amadeus, the founder of Arkham Asylum, have a history of being insane. There's a whole story you guys read. It's a Serious House on Serious Earth by Grant Morrison, and basically what it talks about is how he founded this asylum and one of the inmates killed his family, and that sort of made him snap and sort of become crazy, and eventually he was committed there too. So again, they have a long history with being crazy. We sort of see how far gone he is just through his conversations with us, sort of through the video, and how he's hidden it before. How the girl that's in the bed, his wife, sort of provided a chance of redemption for him, and now that she's gone, he's sort of has sort of lost it even more, and is now going completely crazy and allying himself with Scarecrow and others. Again, most of this series is set up, so I'm not really sure where they're going to go with it, but they immediately got my attention with this. Again, you can see the quality in this. It's very good. I also like how halfway through the video, the hospital music sort of drops out, and all you hear is his voice, and then the repeated blips on the heart monitor. It sort of makes the scene even more eerie and sort of draws you in more to what he's saying. It's very effective. I think I'm not entirely sure because I'm not as familiar as I'd like to be with Jeremiah Arkham, but I'm pretty sure that in this they're playing him a lot younger than he is in the comics. I'd guess to say like he's in his early 40s in the comics, and in this he's probably at the oldest probably around his 30s, which is interesting. I mean, we haven't really seen Jeremiah Arkham that much in other media. I think he's appeared in Batman the Animated Series, but beyond that, I don't think we've seen him that much. He's definitely a character I'm interested in, just because a guy that deals with the kind of stuff he deals with at Arkham each day, you know he's got to be at least a little bit crazy. I mean, no one could go day in and day out and not have maybe the slightest thing wrong with them having to deal with the craziness of that place.
Lisa is my light.
And if I'm thinking about this right, I think this is after the asylum was taken away from him, so he really has nothing now. He's basically as far down and as far gone as he possibly can be. And in that sort of desperation, he allies himself with people he wouldn't normally ally himself with, and sort of just allows himself to slowly unravel. I like how I'm interested to see how this plays out with him going up against Commissioner Gordon and threatening to kill his wife. I'll be interested to see what they ultimately end up doing with that. They definitely have my interest with this different take on Jeremiah Arkham. I like the more crazy version of him instead of the more sarcastic one, but that's just me.
Yes, hello.
I wonder if the Black Mask thing is at all going to play into this. I'd be interested to see if it would. If they're going in a more realistic version of it, I doubt they would, but it still would be interesting just to see their sort of take on that, if they do choose to do it. But seeing as this sort of is in its own little universe,
I don't want to see one of your men or a
I don't know if they will.
mile of my asylum. And if my wife dies, so does yours, Jim.
I like how we see Scarecrow without the little goatee that he was growing last time. He really does look a lot like Cillian Murphy, the guy that plays Scarecrow. He looks actually a lot like him. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this.